Everybody, welcome. I'd like to make a formal start. We're running a little bit late, but it's great to see so many people here.
Oh no, what's that say?
So welcome. This is the second speaker in our interdisciplinary colloquium series this year. And it's a great honour for me to introduce Professor Lynn English, all the way from Australia. We were actually at a conference. She's been making her way further east throughout the past week. She was at a conference with us in Reno last week, and now here in Massachusetts for the first time. It's a great honour to welcome Professor English. We also have another guest, Professor Moreno, though he's not a guest, he's a friend, and he's part of the furniture. Professor Moreno from Simba Mexico is here as well, so I just want to welcome two international distinguished scholars. It's great to have you both here. Just to formally introduce Dr. English, she's an internationally recognised for extensive research and publications in mathematics education, which has spanned preschool through to year 10, which is our year grade 11. Her areas of research include mathematical modelling in the primary school, problem solving and posing, statistics education, analogical reasoning, and mathematical development in the early school years. Professor English's new field of research is engineering education in the middle and primary school grades. She is a fellow of the Academy of the Social Sciences in Australia. She's the founding editor of the highly recognised international journal Mathematical Thinking and Learning, and it is a great honour to have Lynn here today. She's going to speak to us on communicating through interdisciplinary modelling in the elementary and middle school years. Lynn is quite happy to take questions during her talk, but I think we've agreed that maybe we'll have a debate, a discussion after she's got through her slides. But she's quite easy to go either way, but she's got about 45 minutes of a talk, but feel free to ask any clarificatory questions along the way, and then we'll go to our Q&A, and then maybe there are people online as well. Folks who have questions. Is that working? We have a Ryan with a cookie in his mouth. So sometimes it doesn't work. So so this is streaming across the web as well, and we have people who are hooked up. Welcome anyone who is online, and they can ask questions as well. Okay? So
thank you very much, Steve, for that lovely introduction. Hello everyone, and thank you for inviting me. I'm going to look at various aspects in my talk today, different approaches to modelling. But what I'm going to look at first, I've just got an overview there. You can't see the bottom ones anyway. I'm going to look at complex learning and promoting complex learning through interdisciplinary modelling. Now, there's a big emphasis, obviously, on innovation today. In fact, I say innovation is now recognised as the most important single ingredient in any modern economy. And I know President Obama said educate, or had a statement report, educate to innovate, a couple of years ago. And so there is that strong emphasis on innovation. Just a quote on innovation, a recent one from Terry Cutler, the Australian Innovation Challenge we've got going at the moment. He says, innovation is not an end in itself. It is a deliberate and thoughtful act of defiance against the status quo in order to make a difference. Just an example of innovation. This is a bridge in Brisbane, the Kaput Bridge, and it's the world's first tensegrity bridge, a structure that uses a system of compression and tension to create a light but incredibly strong support. I think it's a beautiful bridge, but when it was being built, there was a lot of criticism about it, but it's very innovative and a good example of what society can do these days. Another example is the Gateshead Millennium Bridge. It's the world's first tilting bridge, and the designers took a different approach to enable the boats to pass by. Instead of splitting in two, with the two parts of the span lifting clear of the shipping channel, the Millennium Bridge pivots. And the one on the right there is, you can't really see it, it's the Capitol Gate building in Abu Dhabi. It has an overhang of 18 degrees, in contrast to the Tower of Pisa in Pisa with 3.99 degrees. Well, looking at education to innovate, I mean, we are increasingly need new math solutions to complex problems. There are changes in the form of mathematical thinking that we're going to need for the future. We need to be adaptive, flexible, creative in our thinking. We increasingly need to use interdisciplinary knowledge in solving problems. Working on multi-component projects in which planning, monitoring, communicating and documenting are very important. And we have to deal with complex systems where we interpret them, describe them, explain, manipulate and construct them. And so complex systems, as you all know, are becoming increasingly important. In fact, they've been around for quite some time as, oh, by the way, oh no, sorry. Stephen Hawking said in 2000 that I think the next century will be the century of complexity. Well, he was certainly right. You've got to look at, you know, the World Wide Web, education, health systems, the current global society, classrooms, traffic jams, with all the complex systems. They're concerned with how relationships between parts give rise to the collective behaviours of the system and how the system interacts with its environment. And the thing with the complex system is the whole is qualitatively and radically different from each part and the sum. Traffic jams are a good example of complex systems. They are made up of formation of individual cars. However, they do not share the properties of the individual cars. And complex systems are quite surprising because, for example, although the cars are moving forward, the traffic jams are moving backwards. And the traffic jams result from the local interactions among the individual cars and the roads. And with complex systems, decisions that we make locally can affect us, everyone globally. For example, climate change, worldwide recession, political systems. So I'm a great believer in children, students, engaging in complex problems where they do have to deal with unexpected, insufficient information, unexpected outcomes, and looking at the, you know, how can we deal with the elements in the complex system. And increasingly, for informed citizens, they need to be able to understand and deal with complex systems as markers of complexity in the environment, society and physical systems. Do you recognise that building? Dick Lesh, one of my mentors and whom I admire greatly, he asked, how might we address the increasing complexity of learning and learners to advance their mathematical understanding within and beyond the classroom? Well, I think you've got three factors here: the material to be learnt, the learner, and the learning environment. And I believe that we can't reduce complexity to make something easier to learn, teach or research. The report Curious Minds, I don't know whether you're familiar with that one, 2008. It's only a small report from, I think it was from the Netherlands. Made these statements. What people say about children is, they can't do this yet. We turn it around and say, look, they can already do this, and maybe it should be, they can still do this now. The point being that as children go up the school, their interest and their apparent learning just seems to wane. But we have to realise that we cannot underestimate the learning potential of all students, and that's why in my research over many years I've always looked at activities, problems that are going to challenge the children's thinking. So what are the implications for the classroom? Well, as Rich Lehrer and Leona Schurgel said, is that learning is grounded within the context environments that we fashion rather than in maturation of the children. And I believe that Ed Silver said a couple of years ago, is that learning activities must be of a high cognitive demand, which I'll be coming back to that. Promoting complex learning, I'll be coming back to these points here, but these are the main things that I see at the moment, is that students should be able to construct important ideas and process, and that's why a lot of the the activities I give students